Hello and welcome to Cali Legends Media. I want to thank all the subscribers who subscribed recently. We had 485 subscribers in the last 28 days. Really appreciate each and every one of you. We're I think it's 70 more subscribers away from hitting that 7,000 mark, 7,000 subscriber mark. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and set that notification bell on all so you'll be notified whenever we drop a new video or we go live. Okay, so as you can tell by the thumbnail, I want to share a little bit about this guy, Mr. Lanez here, that got stabbed. It's all over the internet. He got stabbed 14, some say 15 times. A lot of people made videos about this, but they didn't have all the information. There's still some information missing, pieces of the puzzle for us to know the whole story. But there's an effect that this stabbing has been having on the public, and that's what really trips me out, is that this thing happened in prison hundreds of miles away, and people home in their living room are talking like, suit up and boot up, and let's get ready, for the war, It's ridiculous, Yes, Mr. Lanez is the gentleman who shot Megan Thee Stallion, and that's what he's in prison for. He's on SNY yard, or like a type of 50-50 yard of some sort, probably because of his notoriety. People with money a lot of times get extorted, by their people. So they might have him there for that, or who knows, maybe there's other reasons that we just don't know about. Nevertheless, he was on this yard with another individual who goes by the name of Sonny. Okay. Before I go on with this video, let me get one thing straight. Sonny is not a Southsider. He's not a member of anything or anyone you'll find in a general population yard. Okay. He's on a yard where there's a lot of controlling factors, and even you yourself, if you have a problem, you can deal with it. It's not like general population. We have to go and make sure that there's nothing happening, that you're not going to affect anybody negatively by making your move. But I hear that on those yards, you just do your thing, handle your business. So Sonny, the guy who stabbed Mr. Lanez here, has some bad charges, okay? He's 24 years old, and he had a 13-year-old girlfriend that he was staying with. I guess there was some type of conflict between them. Anyways, he ended up going to prison for 1 second-degree murder, 1 attempted first degree. I don't know how that works, but he got a little chunk of time, right? The last time he went to the parole board, they shot him down, told him to come back in 7 years, okay? And then during that time, he picked up a sticking. I'm not sure if it was in Centinela, but a prison out that way. He picks up a sticking, and then he picks up another weapons charge that give him an additional, I believe it was 6 years for the sticking, 2 years for the weapon, plus the parole board denied him, told him come back in 7 years. So he still had a chance to get out, and he still does. Maybe, I don't know. If this guy happens to get an infection or something and ends up becoming unalived, he may never see the light of day again. Nevertheless, this guy has some issues. Sonny, the one that stabbed him, has issues. Obviously, he's very volatile, man. He's a dangerous person, and he's living that crazy life, man. I'm talking crazy, like insane asylum style. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's bad news. Now, I noticed yesterday I was clicking the channel and I came across Bobby Yaya's channel. Okay, he's a brother that has a channel. I had an encounter with him, and in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, um, he likes to speak about racial things a lot. You know, I think he has that disease, that prejudice thing going on in his heart. You know, because everything becomes a racial issue, and you know, like always confrontational. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to Mexicans, and Southsiders. Okay, so I was listening to him yesterday and his rhetoric, and man, he was on a good one. Like, I think he missed the whole picture though. He was talking about the yard going up, and it's going to be on, you know, the blacks against the Mexicans, and we can't sit down for this and allow this to happen and all this. In my opinion, yeah, something should be done, I guess. I don't care, but if I did, I would think what needed to be done was someone's got to find out who the brothers are on that yard. And from what I understand, those yards, 50-50 yards or SNY yards, or certain yards are maybe bad for us and you can't go there, but they can. You know, they don't fall under the same politics. And they can go to these 50-50 yards and stuff, you know. Yes, there's some on there with bad charges. There's some on there, you know, that are in protective custody. But even if you're good and if you're a brother, you can go on the yard, you know. That's what I understand from I believe it was Chill mentioned that in one of his videos, you know. They don't fall under the same politics as us. Nevertheless, if there's a problem, the way that issue was handled, because it was just two men getting at each other, and if that is an issue on that yard, then everybody should have jumped or at least come to his aid, you know. But it sounds like nobody busted a grape. That just these two men got down, and Mexican had a knife, you know what I mean? It's not funny, but it is, because everybody's saying, yeah, everybody on the yard should get off and everything. This wasn't between Lanez and everybody on the yard. It was between that guy Sonny and Lanez, who supposedly was the shot caller on the yard, which I doubt very much, you know. Or who knows? Maybe he was. For all we know, the brothers didn't want him there either. Maybe he was arrogant. Maybe he was annoying, you know, and maybe Sonny did him a favor by removing him, you know. We don't know the story. We don't know the whys. What's the underlying reason all this happened? All we know is that it did happen. But I think that the first action should be the brothers getting at whatever brothers are on the yard and find out how come nobody helped this man. You know what I mean? And give some DPs, you know what I mean? Think about it, you know. I think they did the biggest violation and the biggest crime against this man, you know, by leaving him hanging, you know, blowing in the wind. And yeah, so anyways, I was amused by what old Bobby Yaya had to say. I wasn't surprised, though. He's always trying to make things hotter than they got to be between the Mexicans and the blacks. You know what I mean? He says that we're brought up that way, to think that way, to act this way and stuff. And I don't know, man. I didn't really see it like that. You know, it was mostly everybody was just following the rules, man, and keeping business separate. That's all I was seeing, you know. There was no racial disrespect or anything like that. In fact, there was a high level of respect between the blacks and the Mexicans. And when there wasn't, they got off what they were mad at, and if it was us, we got off when we'd get mad, you know. But most of the time there was nothing happening, you know. So yeah, I don't think this is a racial issue. I think this is a black issue and should be dealt with within that car there on that prison yard. You know what I mean? Because if anybody fucked up, they did. Okay? In prison, that's the way prison is. If you piss somebody off, you better be on your toes, man. Have your head on a swivel, because they just might come for you and want to take your head off, you know. And that's on any yard in prison. In prison, there's these prisoners are there for at some point in life not giving a fuck and putting the hurt to people that hurt them or maybe just angered them, you know. But you're living with a bunch of dangerous people, especially if they're EOP. You know, from what I understand, they have these EOP buildings now on the yard where people take meds for mental illnesses and stuff, you know. And anybody in one of those yards aren't considered good with the South, you know. So all that talk, you know, that he was a Sureño and all that shit, no, bullshit. You know, dude's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And Mr. Lanez would have did us a favor if he would have took his head off. You know what I mean? Missing with little kids. It would have been great, you know. Time for celebration, you know. The dude that got him was no good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking this was just an isolated incident between two men. Whatever their problem was, it was their problem. It was settled between them. And if there was any violation or anything, I could see if the whole yard, all the Mexicans got off on the blacks. Yeah, that didn't happen. So it's just between two men. And if the blacks were supposed to jump and didn't, then shame on them. And they're the ones that got to be dealt with. Or, you know, however it gets dealt with. It's really not important to me. It's just bothersome to hear the rhetoric, such racism coming across on social media. I'm going to put the link to Bobby Yaya's video in the description section if you want to see what I'm talking about. And it's the same old thing. You know, the guy's known very well for being this way. And there's other ones too. I'm not gonna call them out on this or anything. They are the way they are. They think the way they think and feel what they feel. You know, and they say what they feel just like me. You know, they just feel differently when it comes to black and brown or issues like this. I think about it different, you know. But anyways, I'll go ahead and link that video. This is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I brought a little light that wasn't being shown on an issue that's probably the only issue now, you know, unless people make it bigger than it needs to be, you know. And it is what it is, you know. We really don't care what happens on those yards, you know. But like I said, if Tory Lanez would have gotten that dude and took his head off, it wouldn't have been no loss, no loss at all. Guy's no good. Guy's a piece of shit, you know. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on this. Thank you for watching, people. And like I said, we're only like 70 away from hitting that 7,000. I told you we'd have a raffle. I'm gonna be raffling some shirts, and I got different sizes and stuff. You know, there's only going to be a very few because I had to get different sizes. So hopefully you'll be present and you'll be there when your size is going up. Okay, thank you for watching, everybody. God bless you. Have a good day. God bless your family. And hope to see you on the next video. Gracias.